and welcome to this week's edition of Breeding to Win. I'm out here at Lammerskral Stud where we will be announcing our first groom of the month, sponsored by G-Fox, and our first winning groom will receive a lovely hamper from G-Fox, and I'm really looking forward to chatting to him a bit later on in the show. But on the lineup for tonight, the Cape Summer season is fast approaching. We've already had a feature race, and tonight we'll be chatting to Vaughan Marshall about his hopes and goals for the season. As I said earlier, we'll be announcing our first winning groom of the month, Selo Kwakwa from Lammerskral Stud. We'll be chatting to him and his family. We've of course got our foal of the week, and we chat to Justin Veermark to get an update on Erupt and all his foals on the ground. On last week's show, we chatted to 3 top Cape trainers about the Cape Summer season ahead, and this week we're chatting to Vaughan Marshall to hear about his season and where he'll be aiming his top horses. We're already getting into the swing of the Cape Summer season, and a trainer who looks to have a strong hand for the season ahead is Vaughan Marshall, and we're at his stables in Millerton this morning. Good morning, Vaughan.
Morning, Fee. You
do look to have a strong hand going into the Cape Summer season. You've got some smashing older horses and some younger individuals as well.
Yeah, it is. It's very exciting, Fee, but you know, it's been a bit of a damper with Captain of Stealth being injured, but we're hoping that at the end of October we'll get a positive result from him, so it's holding thumbs anyway. But the older horses are doing very, very well.
Yeah, looking at them in their stables this morning, I'm so excited to see One World out again, and of course you've got some other really nice stable stars.
Yeah, Tapanoth, you know, he's come back from his gelding, and he's dare I say that he's really, really doing well, and we've got a very exciting horse in Black Nap. He's done well, and he won well the other day, and we've got lots of high hopes for him. And then little Cane Lime and Soda, you know, he's done nothing wrong, so we're holding thumbs and that he progresses into the bigger races.
And for the bigger horses, what races are you aiming for this season?
Well, Tapanoth, I have got sort of aspirations of running him in the Met, and so we'll plan his preparation accordingly. And then, of course, One World, I think his main object is the Queen's Plate. Whether he's good enough to win it, we'll wait and see, but he's doing exceptionally well. And he kicks off his campaign next Saturday in the Matcham, so we're holding thumbs that things progress.
The Matcham Day is always really exciting, isn't it? You know the season is here on Matcham Day, and we usually get quite a good crowd at Durbanville.
Very much so, you know, but that day just creeps up on you very, very quickly, you know. And about 2 weeks ago I thought, oh well, you know, we've still got some time, and all of a sudden it's only 2 weeks to go, and now it's a week to go. So yeah, it creeps up on you very quickly. It
does. You know, we come back from Durban, and before we know it, it is the Cape Summer season. But you've managed to get some decent gallops into some of these top horses.
Very much so, you know. We've been very fortunate, and the rain has held off, and the course has been good. So they've had a fair amount of work. You know, they'll all be short of a race, but I'm sure they'll run well.
And as far as younger horses go, any stable stars in the making?
Yeah, I think we've got a couple of nice 2-year-olds. It's still too early to say that, you know, that they're stars, but I've got 1 or 2 very nice horses that are progressing well, and they won't come out early, but they're very, very nice horses. And of course we've still got a lot of babies on the farm, so hopefully in a month's time they'll all be in, and we can assess our string for next year. And
fillies wise, a little bit short of a decent filly this year?
No, I think the filly Mirage is well above average, and I've got a very nice dynasty filly of Ken Trutter's. She will rule. She ran a very good race first time out, but she's looking for 2,000 metres plus. I've got very high hopes for her, so yeah, we've got 1 or 2 very nice fillies, yes.
And the season ahead this year, it's stretched out a little bit, the programme's a little bit different. That benefits you as a trainer?
I think so, and it benefits racing, you know. I just, you know, I'm not a firm believer that having all these feature races on one day is a great thing for us. You know, for years we've been saying, oh, people don't want to come racing anymore. Well, how about thinking about it and saying, well, because all the big races are on one day, people don't come to the minor races. So, you know, I've always been an advocate of having those races spread out, and let's bring people back to the racecourse and give them something to come back to.
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to it. Our season's stretched out a little bit more and not over in a flash, so something to look forward to. But you are a great trainer of the Captain Els. You must love seeing these horses, and they stamp the same, aren't they? They're big, beautiful horses, big jowls, big, beautiful heads, lovely looking horses.
Very much so, you know, very, very similar to what he was. Obviously, you know, he was a great horse and had a wonderful temperament, and you know, you put the work in and they give it back to you. So they were lovely horses to train.
But looking at them in the box this morning, in box 1, 2 and 3, I think you've got One World, Tapanoth and Black Nap, and they're just 3 magnificent looking horses.
Yeah, no, they're very good looking horses, and you know, particularly One World, I mean, that head of his is just something to behold. But yeah, he's got a good heart, a big heart, and he knows what to do, you know, and he hates being beaten. So let's hold thumbs for the season.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing them all on the track. One World tends to be a little bit hot in the parade ring. He's had a bit of time off now. He's probably maturing. I'm looking forward to seeing him out again. He'll probably be a little bit more settled, do you think?
I think so, Fee. You know, we took him to Durbanville last week for a gallop, and he was a lot more settled than normal. But there again, it was early before the races, so you know the humdrum of the races wasn't around. But yeah, look, I think just generally he has settled down a bit, and hopefully that he does have that effect on him on race day.
It does look to be a very competitive season ahead, because some top horses have stayed in the country. We've got obviously Mike de Kock's got a strong hand. Justin, you know, top horses have stayed here. Big horses running this season. Oh,
very much so. You know, which there again, it's good for racing. You know, we've got the big horses here, and the competition's good and tough. So you know, I think everyone will benefit from it.
With the string as strong as you have, all being well, if you run well throughout the Cape Summer season, you'll probably go to Durban next year. You gave it a miss last year, but it probably looks the way to go this season.
Yeah, I think so, definitely. You know, we possibly missed a beat last year and didn't go, but you know, quite frankly, we didn't have the depth in the string to warrant going, and but this year I think we'll be competitive.
Yeah, well, it's lovely to see you've got such a big string, and you're still going strong after so many years, and you've already got a Met under your belt, and it's just exciting stuff, isn't it? And it's what we get up for, these top horses. Oh,
absolutely. You know, every morning you wake up and on the road driving to work, and you think about all these lovely horses waiting for you to, you know, and I've got a habit where I'd go and say hello to them, each and every one of them in the morning. So, you know, it's just wonderful to get up to come to work.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to the season ahead, some top racing, and I'm looking forward to seeing your horses competing. You certainly do look to have a good string. Thank you very much for chatting to us this morning, Vaughan.
Thank you, Fee. Thanks very much.
Vaughan Marshall looks to be very, very competitive this season. We'll see his first top horse out One World in the Matchroom next week, and I'm looking forward to the season ahead, and we'll be watching Vaughan closely. It's going to be competitive, but it's going to be good, and it's going to be hot. So much excitement has gone into choosing our first groom of the month. It's a great incentive, and our sponsor G Fox are looking after our groom of the month with a hamper of clothing. And I'm really excited to chat to our first winning groom of the month out at Lammerskrelstad. Sally Brass nominated him, and that is Sello Kwakwa. Our first groom of the month is Sello Kwakwa, and Sello is from Lammaskralstad. He's been a long-standing servant here, and Sally Bruss nominated him as her best groom. And Sally is with me to chat to us about Sello. Sally, firstly, the farm's looking lovely as we drive up the drive, and you've got smashing grooms, but you said you nominated Sello.
Yes, well, Sello has been my right-hand man for just over 15 years now, and yeah, I don't have to tell him what to do. He knows exactly what has to be done and how I want it done. And he's very trustworthy. He's intelligent. He's got a wonderful sense of humour. And yeah, he does his duty without ever having to be reminded of things. In fact, he's got a fantastic memory. He's often reminding me of things. He's got an amazing memory. And he's a really good man.
Really sounds like he's part of the family. It's lovely when they grow with you.
Yes, and his wife Mary is the head of the stable yard, the women team as well.
That's fantastic. And does he sort of do everything on the farm from covering to looking after yearlings? Is he sort of a jack of all trades here?
Yeah, the only thing he doesn't do is ride a horse. He's not involved with the 2-year-olds. But yeah, otherwise he can handle stallions, he prepares the mares for the covers, he's at the covers. He folds mares down, he does a lot of medications, he can give intramuscular injections, and he's just very, very reliable and diligent.
We chatted to Sally Bruss as to why she nominated Sello Kwakwa as her groom of the month, and we've got Sello here now to chat to us about his time here at Lammaskral. Sello, firstly, congratulations on being our first groom of the month.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Our new sponsors, G Fox, have given a lovely prize for our winning grooms, and I hope you enjoy the hamper of clothing that you're wearing now and your lovely new boots.
Yes, ma'am. I'm enjoying them.
Now, Sally tells us you've been a long time here at Lammaskral.
Yes, ma'am. I've been here now for 15 years on Lammaskral. You
speak very good English and I believe lots of other languages as well.
Yes, ma'am. I can speak Setswana, Sesotho, Xhosa, Zulu and Afrikaans.
Well, that's a very good thing to have when you're dealing with the other grooms. And your passion for horses, have you always been involved with horses and loved horses?
Yes, ma'am. I think growing up in a place where we always between the animals, that's where I have started working with horses. And when I came here on Lammaskral, I worked for a year working with the irrigation, and Marcelli have asked me if I can help just to bring horses to the stables and take them out. And after a year, then that's when Marcelli saw my good job. So Marcelli have decided that I must come work with horses permanently.
Well, she speaks very highly of you. She loves having you on the farm. You're doing a great job. And it's a very busy time of the year at the moment with the foaling. So there must be lots of sleepless nights for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Very busy, but it's so rewarding because the horses are looking beautiful and the farm's looking absolutely fantastic.
Yes, ma'am. Our horses are looking very, very good because we look good after them.
Well, Sello is our winning groom, obviously, but his family all live it here at Lammaskral as well. And Mary, his wife, plays a big part here as well, taking care of the female grooms and works here as well. So, Mary, you must have been here just as long as Sello.
Yes, ma'am. I think I have 10 years. Yes, ma'am.
And you take care of all the lady grooms and the looking after of the horses?
Yes, ma'am. I do all those things and cleaning the stables.
And it's lovely to have females involved in the horses and helping just as much, because it's always been more of a male dominated thing, the grooms and everything, but to have females working as well is great.
It's great, ma'am, but it's not easy. It's hard job, but we are doing it. We're pushing.
But you have a great team here as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And your love for the horses, you must have grown to love the horses as well, especially these little foals that are on the ground now.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, your two lovely daughters are here. What are their names?
The big one is Rosie, and the little one is Butlali.
And how wonderful for them to be brought up here on the farm, to be able to run around in such a lovely, wide, open space in the country and then go to school close by.
Yes, ma'am. I think it's lovely and safety.
And here comes Fire Away! Fire Away in the Danger's Hour.
I love getting all the pictures in of the beautiful foals on the ground, and it's such a difficult decision choosing which one should be our winning foal of the week. So we are trying to play out as many as possible, but every week we do have a winner. And here's this week's foals and foal of the week. And lastly, on tonight's show, we chat to Justin Veermark. We haven't caught up with him for a while, and he's got lots of fresh news for us on the stallion Erupt. Justin Veermark's a very busy man, and we haven't caught up with him for a while, but we're here at Green Street Bloodstock HQ to have a bit of a catch-up this morning and see what's happening with the stallions and Green Street Bloodstock. Justin, always lovely to be in your office here in town.
Yeah, thanks very much, Fee. It's good to be back in Cape Town, no place like home. And obviously we're starting to get into Cape summer season pretty soon with feature races on the weekend and full steam ahead.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Lovely to have the season in full swing. Now, we're really here to talk primarily about Erupt. How is he doing? Because we had a long chat with you about him earlier in the season, but obviously we've got foals on the ground now. Yeah, that's been the most exciting thing, obviously, is seeing his first foals on the ground. There haven't been a lot of them. Quite oddly, a lot are actually due for this month and next month as well. But very happy with what's been seen so far. He's had quite a few fillies. I know my mare, I've got a dynasty mare myself who's at Eugene Freeman, and she threw a lovely Erupt filly. And there's a specific colt at Lammerskral Stud who is out of Mina Salam. That great Northfields female line of Robin Brusses, and she's already produced True to Life, who placed in the nursery, this being the Erupt half-brother to True to Life. And I got messages from Robin and from Sally at Lammerskral, obviously, about the colt, and he weighed in at 63 kilos at birth, and he's, as you can see by the pictures on screen, he's a big strapping boy, and we are very happy with what's been seen so far. And the good thing about that is it's led to more bookings and a lot of outside services. Obviously, as it's been touched on throughout the year, the market has been under a little bit of pressure, and it's hard to get outside services to stallions bar shareholder interest, but he's already booked over 30 outside services. Just cover's been booked at his new rate this season, and along with the shareholder support, he's going to get
get to that magic figure of 100 mares being covered this season, which is good for his second season. And Dubawi has just been doing spectacularly overseas, and his Dali son, Knight of Thunder, is a revelation freshman side the season in England. He's got a ridiculous rate of more than 50% or so of his runners have achieved a figure of 80 and above, which is a good mark in England. And he's had 20 individual winners already. When we look at our freshman size here, they're siring 16, 17 individual winners, the champion freshmen, and he's up to 20. So he's done really well just this weekend. Another son of Dubawi, Al Kazim side, his first Group 1 winner. So all going well with him, great bookings, and he's really let down beautifully, as we saw those last images at Main Chance. And he's got really good support, which is important, you know, I think in this market for stallions to get 120 mares and above is really only limited to those horses that are now proven, and horses like Vercingetorix and Kirari, they sell really full, but the new guys without runners on the ground, they're battling to get up to that number. So to get at 100 is a good number for him, and the quality of mare has been exceptional, as I touched on with this horse at Lammaskraal. They're a farm who's backed him. They've sent 6 mares to him this season. Well, they will be sending 6 over the covering season. They're sending the full sister to Yard Arm, Miz and Mist, stakes-winning Jetmaster mare. Viva Maria is going. Gold Cup runner-up Zante has been covered by him as well. And Main Chance have sent Frequent Flyers a dual Group 1 runner-up. And then we obviously touched on the Niarchos family, who had sent down some of their European mares. One of them, Mieska's the third dams from that royal Niarchos family. And there's an AP Indy daughter to European champion Divine Proportion. So great support from a vast array of farms. I know Rite Scroll Stud have sent some beautiful mares as well. And Normandy Stud are sending 8 or 9 of their own to be covered by him through their shares and extra services they've booked. So very promising. Obviously next year will be important as well, being his third covering season, but hopefully we'll get big numbers into him, and looking forward to watching the foals progress throughout the year, and I'm sure the viewers will be able to see through the show the updates as they get older. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I'm really glad that he's getting all the support that he actually deserves, because he's a really good, smashing-looking individual, and it's lovely to hear that the foals are a nice size as well. When we last spoke to you, there were still shares available in the syndicate for him, but I take it they're nearly full now? Yeah, look, the shareholdership in the horse is sold out, but as we touched on with breeders that have taken up new shares this year, the Niarchos family did retain a vast interest in him, which has obviously been diluted down now through sales of other shares, and they don't use all their shares because they don't have the number of mares. So if there are interested breeders, we can take some shares off the Niarchos family, which they're happy to do to get their horse more support. So that is an option, but he has dropped down to 30,000 Rand live foal for his covering fee, and obviously that's brought a whole lot of new breeders on board, and that is a good option as well, because obviously cash flow can be issues for breeders at this time of year, and to pay live foal next year after the sales is a great boost. No, he sounds like good value, but anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing his foals. But as far as Green Street Bloodstock goes, and the rest of the things happening at the moment, it's a busy time ahead. You've got a lot on the go. You've got more sales ahead. You've got the ready to run. There's lots happening. Yeah, lots happening. Just got back from overseas. Obviously, as we've touched on, we're doing a lot more in Singapore now. South African horses going very well. I think we're averaging 4 or 5 winners a month at the moment this season. It always happens with the new 3-year-olds that come out. And yeah, very happy. I've got 16 horses under for Mark Equine selling on behalf of clients at the Ready to Run, the Cape Ready to Run, on the 22nd of November. So we'll be showing that draft on the show over the next couple of weeks. And obviously that's a fantastic sale, and always very well supported. Some international buyers coming out again this year, as they did last year, and hopefully there's some more news on export protocols opening up for us a little bit. And obviously that'll help our horses that we're sending to Singapore. But we've been dealing on a couple horses in New Zealand and Argentina at the moment. Just yesterday we secured a Group 3 placed horse in Argentina who's flying over to Singapore, and I'm working with Donovan Mansur, who's riding in New Zealand, on a couple of horses he's been trialling that we're going to send up there. And then
we've obviously showed on the show before that 4 or 5 group of 2-year-olds that we bought in Argentina that are going. So next year in Singapore we'll have close on, it should be between 12 and 15 horses in the string, which is going to lead to a lot more runners, and just enjoying it. Yeah, it's hard work obviously, and you're dealing in Sing dollars, which is a lot more than the rand, so it's a lot of money to outlay for our owners, but they're enjoying the ride, and hopefully we can just continue to improve.
Yeah, you're building it up nicely. And as far as the season goes here, the Cape Summer season, have you got plenty of ammunition and nice runners for Green Street? Yeah,
we've got a lot of unraced horses as is. Herodotus runs in the Settlers Trophy. He's going for the Algoa Cup. Unfortunately, he ran very well in the Winter Guineas, and then he ran 4th in the Classic, a bit of a flat run, and then the race that he was aimed for was the Winter Derby, and there was a bit of cowboy race riding going on there. I've had a few words with Richard. He got a week suspension for taking us out pretty much, and he was pulled out the race, and he was quite lame afterwards, so we had to put a line through that run, and we gelded him. He was getting quite coltish, and he was sticking up at the track and that type of thing. So look, I don't think he's a horse who's going to be alive in races like the Sun Met, but off his handicap he will be targeted for the Premier's Trophy and the Peninsula Handicap in the Lormrans Queen's Plate Festival. And we've got another talented young horse called Hard Falling Rain, who won a good maiden. He ran in the sophomore, and once again, bad luck, he clipped heels and he was pulled out the race, but he'll be back for some feature races in the season. And then a lot of very nice 2-year-olds and horses coming through. So a bit of hope there always is, and we always try and set up to have a nice bunch of competitive runners in the Cape Summer season, and then have runners the Lormrans Queen's Plate Festival and the Sun Met, and we've got a nice function happening at the Lormrans Festival this year, a bit of a private section for our owners and that type of thing. So it's hard for the owners at the fees they're having to pay for the stake money they're running for, so you've got to put on a nice show for them, and that Cape Summer stretch is just such fantastic racing and social events that's where they get bang for their buck. So we're setting up for a nice summer, and obviously it finishes with the Asian Racing Conference in the end of February and the Cape Derby, which is great for our racing here. And it's going to be a busy summer, and I'm sure the time will pass quite quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit longer season this year because it's still a bit more stretched out, which is nice. And as you said, it's lovely for your syndicate members to have runners on the big days. Yeah, it is. It always is. We've been lucky. We've won races on Sun Met Day, and we've had a few seconds and thirds on both of the festivals. And it's always an added plus for the owners. They get to tell their mates they're going to the race day with a runner on the day, and he's got a chance. So yeah, it is good fun, and I think as a racing industry we've got to, as I said before, we've got to make sure the owners are getting bang for their buck. Otherwise they're going to find somewhere else to spend their money, because it is hard at the moment with rising costs and stakes that aren't matching it. But no complaints, we carry on, and it's still a great sport to be a part of. Yeah, absolutely. They're the main people in the game, and they must enjoy every moment. But anyway, thank you, Justin, for chatting to us this morning. I look forward to catching up with you again in the next couple of months, especially with the Ready to Run around the corner. Yeah, awesome. Thanks very much. It's a new little avenue we've added to our business this year, this Ready to Run draft on behalf of a couple of other clients and owners, something they do overseas, sales consignment at a large scale. So hopefully it starts off now. We've got a good strong draft, and then we can pick it up each year, and hopefully our clients are happy with the sales, and CTS always do a fantastic job with that Ready to Run sale. Yeah, it's a really good sale. I was looking forward to it and looking forward to seeing your string. Thank you, Justin. It's always good to be here at Green Street Bloodstock HQ in Cape Town. It was great to catch up with Justin this morning, and as I said, we'll be chatting to him again over the next couple of months, and I'm looking forward to seeing his string for the Ready to Run sale. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this evening's show. We certainly enjoyed filming this week and, of course, getting our first groom of the month on the show. I'm looking forward to visiting our groom next month and, of course, keep the foals rolling in, and we're looking forward to the Cape summer season. So lots in store and lots on the show. We'll see you again next Sunday on Breeding to Win.